When you hear the term concentration camps, most people think of World War II and the Nazis. However, today we are talking about something different and closer to home, a brutal death camp in Mississippi, USA. Given America's long history of racial hatred, it's not surprising such a camp existed, but it is shocking how little it is known or talked about, unlike the well-documented Nazi camps. The Devil's Punch Bowl in Natchez, Mississippi, was where approximately 20,000 freed black slaves were imprisoned, starved, and killed. This tragic event in 1863 highlights the systemic evil faced by black Americans. Despite the Emancipation Proclamation issued by Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War, which was supposed to grant freedom to enslaved people, the reality was far different. Black Americans continued to face extreme discrimination and violence. After the Civil War, many black Americans, hoping for a better life, migrated to places like Natchez, only to find even worse conditions than those under slavery. This video unearths a hidden and dark chapter of American history that is rarely mentioned. This video unearths a hidden and dark chapter of American history that is rarely mentioned. In the foothills of Mississippi, there's a place called the Devil's Punch Bowl. It's a natural pit surrounded by trees and known for its uneaten peaches. The place is haunted by the horrors of the past, where black Americans seeking refuge during the Civil War were brutally treated. Despite the promises of the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, which declared all slaves in rebellious states free, the reality was grim for many newly freed African Americans. Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation was a strategic move to gain more manpower for the Union Army. It promised freedom to enslaved people, hoping they would fight for the Union. And they did, believing in a future of racial and economic equality. However, post-war America was unprepared to offer true freedom or citizenship to these newly freed individuals. The Union troops devised a cruel solution: the Devil's Punch Bowl. The Devil's Punch Bowl was a prison camp where men were forced into hard labor and women and children were deprived of basic necessities. The conditions were so dire that diseases like smallpox spread rapidly, killing over 20,000 people within a year. The Union troops refused to let the prisoners leave or even bury their dead properly, leading to more deaths and suffering. Historian and paranormal researcher Paula Westbrook noted that the Army forced the prisoners to bury the bodies where they fell, leading to more disease and death. This story, like many others, was buried deep and often denied by authorities. James E. Yateman, a bank founder and philanthropist, visited the Devil's Punch Bowl in 1863 and reported the horrific conditions to President Lincoln. Despite the reports, the mistreatment continued and the prisoners were not allowed to leave the camp. The suffering of those imprisoned in the Devil's Punch Bowl is a stark reminder of America's racially motivated atrocities. Even today, occasional flooding by the Mississippi River reveals skeletal remains from the mass graves, a haunting reminder of the past. The Devil's Punch Bowl, with its wild peach groves, remains a symbol of the horrors faced by black Americans. The locals avoid eating the peaches, knowing they are fertilized by the remains of innocent people. Reflecting on these events, it's clear that reparations are due to the black community. The systemic racism and hatred faced by black Americans throughout history have left deep scars. Blacks were never intended to be citizens or equals in America. They were seen as property to serve and enrich white enslavers, a harsh reality that led to the Civil War. The story of the Devil's Punch Bowl and similar camps highlights the brutal conditions freed black people faced even after the abolition of slavery. Over 200 refugee camps were established during the Civil War, with more than 800,000 African Americans passing through them. These camps became places of transformation, but were also filled with hardship and fear. Despite the challenges, these camps allowed Black people to start building a sense of home and community. They experienced a taste of freedom, albeit under harsh conditions. Many use creative ways to protect themselves, like crafting makeshift footwear to evade capture. Remembering the Devil's Punch Bowl forces us to confront a painful chapter of American history. It is essential to acknowledge these atrocities to ensure they are never repeated. The plight of those imprisoned there serves as a reminder of the long struggle for freedom and equality. As we reflect on these events, we are reminded of Martin Luther King Jr.'s words, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." We must acknowledge the past, strive for justice, and work towards a future where every individual is treated with dignity and respect. That brings us to the end of this enlightening video. Please like, share, and comment with your thoughts. We're always eager to hear from you and improve our work. Subscribe to stay updated with more content. Thank you for watching.